Everybody, we're back. It is Jets 55. We've got,
Absolutely.
yeah, man, we finally decided to do something here. Good old Vin and May, Phil. You know the story, 55. Now it's 59 million years that we're still fans, but we keep it at 55, Jets 55.
Brooklyn, baby.
Yeah, 1967, the history again of how we decided to do this little thing. Now we just figured now we're at the beginning of the new season. We're almost there, done with camp, and we're just in the spot where we decided we got to start
Super
doing it.
Bowl.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say hello first, but something is like pressing on my head. There's this feeling of like gloom and hatred that I'm getting from my buddy there, and he's ready to like unload. So I think that's what's going on. So I'm gonna let my buddy get started here. I don't even know what he's gonna do now. So his
We,
head might explode at the end. But anyway,
we got a new segment, and this
but
is going to be
anyway,
FU.
we're gonna let the Vin Man.
FU.
That's right. We're gonna let the Vin Man rock and roll first, and
Aaron
take it
Rodgers
away.
is unsurprisingly throwing off the wrong vibes with the Jets, which comes with a huge article from Cameron Ellis. Cameron Ellis, go F you. You're a waste of time because when you write an article that says random quotes and has no names to rip an athlete apart, F you. Okay.
Yep.
Writing the crap, roll back in the rock you came from and go away, Cameron Ellis. Because I can't stand when no one has the guts to say who's saying this and who's saying that. And it keeps going with the great article by Fox News. Here's a surprise. Ryan Canfield, Jets in complete disarray, according to an anonymous NFL agent. You gutless shits. F you. F you, Ryan Canfield. F you, Cameron Ellis. You gutless, just writing assumptions. And you think this is an article with no facts, talking about vibes.
We started this as
I,
judge and jury, right? With guys out there that don't know what the hell they're talking about. So there's two guilties right there, I guess. Screw them,
it
right?
just, I mean, please, just stop, you SHITSs. Just crawl back from where you came from. And if you're just going to rip an athlete apart, this particular Aaron Rodgers, I'm not saying I'm in love with him. I hope he does well. I'm looking at Super Bowl, but please, you gutless pieces of garbage, do me a favor. Give me some names. Give me some facts. At least there's one guy, Ben Standig. This is Bleacher Report. Okay, Ben Standig. At least the guy says his name. And
Bleacher
he's
Report. Yeah.
ripping the Jets apart. Because you know what his theory is? From the 4 plays last year, he thinks Aaron Rodgers is old from those 4 plays. So Standig
Guess
is,
what? He is old. He was 39 years old. Now he's 40. So what? He's old. We know that. What the fuck?
but the whole thing is, I give him credit though. This guy Ben Standig, at least he says his name. At least he's writing what he thinks and he's ripping them apart. But to go by 4 plays last year, and that's you're predicting that's going to reflect on the whole season. Come on, man. But at
Nonsense.
least that guy, like I said, he tried to throw in some facts or some thoughts. With the rest of them, God, I just can never. It gets to the point where we have like a little neighborhood thing over here where I live, here in beautiful New Jersey, a little neighborhood email shit. And there's a deli.
Beautiful New Jersey. Come on
Yeah,
now.
yeah, New Jersey. It's a deli that I go to, a young
That's right.
kid fighting to do his business and have his deli and make a living. And the kid's grinding. Someone says in the email, the neighborhood email shit, how someone had a bad experience there, right? And don't go there anymore. Right. Don't give the kid business. I said, you piece of shit. And he
Yeah.
doesn't leave his name. He left the swinger because we're on a golf course. He's the swinger. Well, thank goodness my neighbor, who's an attorney, ripped that guy apart, saying, "Say your name. Who are you? And what exactly happened at this deli that you want to ruin this kid's business?" Sorry, I'm ranting. I'm raving. I'm all over the place. But you know what? My buddy, he got on there and the guy took it off. That's what it took to him to take it off.
Tell you something. What you just pointed out, that's what I used to say 100 years ago, right? You should have on your forehead who your fandom is. Giants. This guy, what's his story? What? His cousin's got a store down the street. Is that what it is? So he wants to drive the business there? Maybe that's what it is, right? Whatever it is, we should be able to see what the heck is out there. So these guys, these three guys with their stupid stories, that's why they want you to feel. Maybe they're, the guys that were Patriots fans at some point, or they don't like us, or they don't like whatever. I don't gives a shit. We don't care if you like us. Nobody likes us.
No, no. But don't be gutless and tell me about vibes and random. What the F is random quotes? So
A little bit
that's
of
our few
power with
seconds.
this baloney platform. You got to stand up for your rights and what you what your belief is. You don't just like, ooh, this guy said that and then run away. Be a man. Stand up and say your opinion. That's what this is all about here. Jets 55. We're here to tell you the deal, and we're going to do it, and we're going to do it our way. And these people that have no proof, no ability to back up what they're saying because they just want to hear themselves talk, great, but we're not going to listen. And your friend there, good job for standing up for your friend.
I got it. Didn't I? And you know what my friend did too? He left his name. He didn't hide. He said, he said what his name was. And then the guy, the coward, because then he realized what a gutless coward he is. But
He
going
must fit because the
forward,
guy's an attorney.
let's and
Oh,
well, that was our little FU segment. It was
all right.
lovely. It was quick. Let's go to the positive piece. The
Yeah,
biggest thing I was happy
I'm
about.
gonna add into that one thing though. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. We all know that, and it's about Rodgers, and I'm all in. Do it. It's great. It's all good. But here's the thing: we know, you and I, the Jets are like the Super Bowl winners of the offseason, right? They're always talking about every year, you know, this is what we're doing. We have been very fucking patient. Not just forever since Joe Namath, but since Rex Ryan, this era that fell apart, the new one, and now this is the fourth year with these guys now. We've been very patient, okay? So today, JD had his press conference. He's telling us how unbelievable Aaron Rodgers is. Robert Saleh, too, saying, oh, what you're going to see, he's unbelievable. But guys, we've seen Aaron Rodgers throughout his career. We know. Shut the fuck up. It's practice. Stop. I want to now see it. It's time. And I'm happy for Rodgers. I don't need them selling it anymore. Telling, you see him in a practice throwing ball. He's phenomenal. Guess what? I could throw a ball. No, I'm just kidding. You can throw. No, I'm just kidding. Right. But we know what the guy's capable of. So I have no problem with them being enamored and what they're seeing because we've had shit for how many years? Forever, right? Haven't had a good quarterback in forever, right? Okay, a couple of times, Sanchez a little bit, who's been a great nothing, right? So now you got this guy, yes, he's a Hall of Famer. It's practice, man. It's just stop, I get it. He is amazing. He's unbelievable. It's fantastic, but Saleh and JD, stop, okay? I want now to see it. We've been patient. That's all I wanted to say about that. That is not knocking Rodgers like these idiots are. He's going to suck. No, he's not going to suck. But don't, on the other end, be the Super Bowl winners of the offseason again and say how great we are. And then they look like shit, or something. Just go out now and get it fucking done. We deserve it.
We do. It's incredible that we're considered the second best team in the league. First game of the season, we're playing the first, considered the best team in the league on the road, Monday Night Football. So there's a very good chance that we could be 0-1 and the Giants could be 1-0. And here we go. And it's going to be madness. And everybody's going to love to drop bombs if we don't get it done on Monday. But you know what? Listen.
Got the love affair with San Francisco with Saleh, rightfully so. San Francisco's a class organization, always has been. Got nothing against them. Love Montana. But Jesus, they were in the Super Bowl. It's like, okay, this
so
is
they're back. They were gone. They're gone for a while. Actually, they came back with Colin Kaepernick. Really got them back on the map, and
Jim Harbaugh and all that shit. They were good.
and all this stuff. And that's a Shanahan kind of tradition and everything.
Right.
But you know
But
what?
now you got to have Rodgers with these two guys. We'll get into that a little bit more about the game and whatever. You can't be half-assed. It's got to be, let's go. The offense has to hum. Guys have to be open. He's got to hit them. Show me. I want to see it. Let's go. I want to see what it feels like for a guy to throw 4 fucking touchdowns and have a 420-yard game. Can you imagine what that would feel like? We had one in how many years has it been? 4,000. John, we
That
need
was remember Favre? What did Favre throw? 5 or 6 TD passes in the game against the Bills.
Yeah, let's go, So I want to see it. I'm so excited about that. So good, and you want to knock him, fine, but he hasn't played it down yet. Why do you knock the guy? What's wrong with you?
Well, and again, you're gonna knock a guy and talk about these people, this unnamed person. But what are you gonna do? But getting forward with the team, the things that made me happy that I read today: Mike Williams, 100% full throttle to go. People don't talk about him. You're not giving enough of credit. Again, it is practice, but you can see Lazard is an absolute different wide receiver with Aaron Rodgers. It's night and day. He lit up. Listen, it's the Giants. Listen, Giants, I think they got a really good D. I don't think they were really pushing it 100%, and the Jets were having their fun. But Lazard was out there just grabbing that football and making some really good grabs. And Wilson, we know. Now you got Mike Williams, and you got Gibson X, they call him,
You got Brees Hall coming out of the backfield too. I mean,
Oh, man.
and you
And
got the tight end, Conklin. They have so many fucking weapons that if this guy, look, if Mike Williams gets open, Aaron Rodgers will find him. If Garrett gets open, he'll find him. But underneath it all, those guys are going to be looking at go. That's what we want to see. Hum. It should be really exciting as hell,
The last time we saw
all of that, it's not fair to put Mike Williams as he's going to play. He'll make his presence felt, but he's not going to be. It's like working Brees Hall back in last year. That's the way they're going to. So that's fine.
I can't expect Mike Williams to light it up, but if you just picture you have Wilson, Lazard, him in the slot, you got maybe 2 tight end formation with Ruckert and Conklin, and then you got Brees. And what I like about this team, I think also they're deep. Those 2 running backs they drafted. If Brees Hall gets hurt or misses time, you're not happy. You're not going to be happy, but you got 2 really good.
And Izzy stepped up at the end too.
Izzy looked really sharp. So there's a lot of depth. Receiver, I would say there's some depth, not a lot of it, but the offensive line, I think some of these guys, these secondary guys, are showing up. So if these starters have any trouble, you got to feel some comfortable players are going to come in there and get it done. So it is incredibly exciting. This new kickoff thing, I still don't get it. I got to watch it.
It's okay. It's all right. It's like if you want to boom it, you start at the 30. You let them start at the 30. If you want it to come in the landing zone, now you got guys 10 yards apart. It's like a play, So it's like no big deal. It's like it's a 6-yard pickup, So he starts at 26 or the 22 or whatever, If I'm the Jets, boom it. Although I was a little worried about Zerline at the end of the last game. What the hell was that? Missing those field goals. What the heck, But I say boom it, start at the 30, and with that defense, they should be fine, Just don't rip off, like go underneath and have these stupid run backs that shouldn't happen because you had a lapse of coverage, But I don't think they will. I think they'll be fine. And you're right. I think it's going to be fun on offense. I think it's going to be better than we think because I do think he's chomping at the bit. I do think he's healthier than he's ever been. He didn't play last year. So he's well rested. His body must feel good. He's in shape. He's 41, yeah, whatever the hell he is. But, he could be 37, 35, like if he's in great shape. And he could do it for a couple of years or now. Now is the time. But even Brady had him in the top echelon of quarterbacks. And the guy asked him, what about Rodgers? He says, oh, right, of course, because he was talking about the young guys. But top 5 quarterbacks. He didn't have him in there. And then a guy asked him, what about Rodgers? He said, well, of course, Aaron. Yeah. So he was an afterthought, but he's still there. So I think he's going to look. He's also got 475, I think, touchdowns. He wants to get he wants to put some numbers up too to enhance his story. He gets to 520, something like that. He keeps the numbers popping. He gets a super. You know what? It's a Super Bowl. Sorry, it's time. But I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I want to enjoy it. And I think we're set up for success on both sides of the ball, all three facets of the game. But you're right, the Zod should contribute, he should.
You know what? He's a big body. He's a leaper. He gets to those tough balls. He runs. I'm not saying his route running is phenomenal, but he's crisp. He runs some good routes. It's out there. It's out there. And then Brees out of the backfield, beside his running skills, it's going to be a tough,
He's got to
tough
give you
start.
2,000 yards this
It's
year,
going to
no?
be a tough one to start, though. Tough one to start.
He's got to give you a combined at least 2,000 this year, don't you think? I mean, I don't think he's going to give you 1,000 in the air because you've got Wilson and Williams and Rogers now, who's looking for those guys deep. He'll get his 500, but you want to see him get 1,500 on the ground this year, I think. If
Well,
he,
you want to see like 14-6. You want to see 15-5. I
yeah,
mean, it's possible, and again, it has to do with health. It's some of these get scared with the freaky little injuries that all of a sudden happen, and the guy's out for a long time in a season. But
yeah. I'm cautiously optimistic, buddy. We can't get crazy, but
the whole
we're
the
all,
whole
you
rooting
know.
for the Jets for decades has been cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, no, but we used to be so negative so that we can't be disappointed. We're like, they're fucking not gonna win a game. They suck. There were years where you didn't even think about them doing anything. We're just okay, you know what? If they're in the wild card hunt in December, it's been a great year. It's like bullshit. But
I
that's
know.
what we used to say. Because we were just trying and begging for something that is just acceptable. And they never were. They were a doormat. They were garbage for so many years. We love them, but we know the truth. But we don't want accept that anymore. Now we want more. So that's what I mean by last year. Yeah, we had ideas and hopes, but now it's a year later. That old line is so much better. Yeah, stay healthy, but I'm cautiously optimistic about their chances. And I think as the season goes along, if they start to jive and gel and feel it, I think they're going to do some really good things. I do. And because I don't want to see them reboot and all this shit. I think we're going to see some good things. What do you think? I mean,
I listen. Listen, it's a tough start. You're on the road against San Fran, then you're on the road against the Titans, and then you got 4 days to get your battered body back in the stuff, and you're against the New England Patriots. Obviously, it's not the same New England Patriots.
that's the home
They
game, right?
always seem to come up with.
That's the home opener, the Thursday.
Was that?
That's the home opener, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
We didn't do the wins and losses. Maybe we won't this year. Maybe we'll do it, but I don't know. But anyway,
I
so
look like a negative guy if we do that. But you know what? And with the Pats, always something about the Pats that still annoys me and scares me because they always seem to come up with crazy things, whether it's Belichick or whoever the hell is coaching them. They always seem to figure out little things that can drive a team crazy, and maybe they'll steal a win. You know what I mean? But again, it's a
well, Vinny, when we were young, it was the Dolphins. Patriots were always in the background. It was the Bills and the Dolphins. Bills, Andre Reed and all that stuff. It wasn't the Patriots. So now hopefully the Patriots fade away and it's not as big a deal. And hopefully Buffalo isn't what it has been. And the Dolphins with Tua, I think last year hopefully was more of an anomaly because he'll get hurt again because he's a nut. And then we'll see. They got to win that division, though. I mean, but it's a little premature to start talking about what they're going to do and win or whatever, because we're too cautiously optimistic about it. I'm not going to be nuts about it. But I know what I expect this year, and we're in our mid-60s now, man. It's like, come on, it's bullshit. And we have generations of kids that have never seen them, do anything. It's how long ago now that they got to those two championship games, right? That's 15 years and more now, right?
Yeah,
The
that was with Rex, and yeah, absolutely correct. And
well,
here's the other thing: don't forget the first 3 games, 11 days. That's crazy, man.
hey,
That's
win two of them, win three of them. What the hell, Let's go. It's too bad. Um, but look, I look at it this way, Vin. For me, I look at this year as we all do. They got to win the Super Bowl. You can't say that because how do you have the right to say that? But I was thinking about this earlier today, right? As I was getting ready for our podcast. No, but you
All
know,
right.
look, Jeff Albrecht, he is a stud. He will not be with the Jets next year in 2025. He will be a head coach somewhere. So that defense in 2025 won't be with him. So you better get it done this year. These are the things that I'm thinking about beyond. So how much do they need to do this year to have continuity for 2025? So I looked at it and who's on deck because Aaron Rodgers, even if they win a Super Bowl, maybe he's done. Anything can happen. If they win a Super Bowl or bust, Albrecht and Rodgers may be gone. Either way, Salah may be gone. JD. But say they do well enough and everything remains, someone's going to take over. He's going to be a head coach somewhere, right? And what are they going to do for continuity? Because if you look at the guys 2025 that are free agents, Hassan Reddick will get into in a minute, right? He'll be a free agent then. DJ Reed, Mike Williams, Javon Kinlaw, Conklin, this offensive tackle, Tyron Smith, right? The new guy. Moses, right? Solomon Thomas on defense. Ashton Davis, right? You got Jeff Ulbrich somewhere else. He's going to pull some of these guys. You got Chuck Clark. You got Jamian Sherwood, Michael Carter II, Eccles, Adams, the safety. Even this guy, Surratt, that linebacker, they're all open in 2025. They are naked to the league in 2025 with quality players and the coaching staff. So this year, no one's talked about it yet. But that's why we're here, is to inform our people. This year, they have to win the Super Bowl. They do, because at least you have people go their separate ways, but you go out on top. You go out, and then you have JD and Salah rebuild it and plug it in again and keep going. And if Ulbrich is gone, who's your new defensive coordinator? You have to understand that's the way the league is. And I'm not, a genius, but I know that they're at a point now where it's enough Play-Doh. It's time to Play-O, if you can see that. That was me being silly, right? Can you see that? I don't know. It's kind of bad.
Back it up. Back it up.
There you go.
Enough Play-Doh.
Enough Play-Doh.
Play-Doh. Let's
I don't want to hear their friggin', philosophy anymore. Enough Play-Doh. It's time to Play-O. Let's go. I know it's stupid, but enough. I don't want to hear about any more about except anything, but I don't care about the schedule. You go there. You think McCaffrey gives a shit? That guy, year in, year out, is an animal. He plays. These guys, the Niners, you go in, you get it done, and you make your mark in the league. We're used to being failures. We don't need to get into the owner. I like Chris, don't like whatever, all that shit doesn't matter. It's about us, our team, 55, and it's about now because look, we've been very patient, like I said before, right? But time's up. Things are going to be very, very different in 2025 in many different ways. So it's time to stop being Plato and time to Play-O, But I mean, I'm trying to not be too silly. But yeah, that's what I mean by cautiously optimistic, because I feel good about it. And I don't really feel that it's going to fall apart, because you're going to talk about, the guy that you love, right? We have a great backup quarterback in a minute. So if something does happen.
My favorite pick. My
Yeah.
favorite thing done all. That was my favorite thing. Of everything they did, even Simpson, the lineman, all these great things they did. And getting Mike Williams, which I was really excited by, and getting those two backs in the draft. And even that the guy from Canada, he looks like there's a lot of promise. And Clark is back. Everything that happened, everything that felt good so far, knock on wood, injuries and everything, things are looking solid. Michael Carter II, he's back. But
Yeah.
the big thing that made me happy was Tyrod Taylor. Because if you had a guy like him last year, I really 7-10,
Yeah,
with the
10-7 if
quarterback,
you have him. You
with the
flip.
quarterback for 3 games straight, I thought had finally arrived, and he tricked you, and he didn't arrive, and then he just would do nothing, and still 7-10. So you think a guy like Tyrod, you can't tell me a good backup quarterback, you're not going to get 3 more wins last year
Even
when
if
you
he gets
lost to
two, you're nine
when
and
you
eight.
lost to Atlanta like 13-6, you would have won that game. Just some stupid scores, So Tyrod Taylor. I've always liked that guy. Surprised the Giants even let him go. He's getting a little older. Jets hurt him. The Jets knocked him out of the game. But glad to have my favorite thing of all. So if he's out, to me, there's still hope. If he is hurt for 3, 4 games, you got someone serviceable. Let's rock and roll, baby.
Yeah,
And
and you,
when they win the
I,
next Super Bowl, I said I get a tattoo. So here we go.
and you know what? If that happens, I gotta tell you, that guy Martinez, I know it was only third string mop up stuff, the guy on the practice squad, that kid was like the MVP in the UFL, they know the USFL. Um, so he's ready too. That guy is a backup. So they're not going to activate free. But if something happens, that guy isn't any worse than what we've had over the last few years. So that's his name, Martinez, if you remember. That
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
Like, he looked pretty good as a against the twos and the threes. So I know it doesn't mean anything, but he's been in and has performed in a high enough level in the league that he was in. So that's good. And you know what? I was talking before, I wrote this down. 2025, right? That's important to me. It is. And don't forget, we have this guy, what is it, Jordan Travis, the quarterback from FSU that got hurt, right? So maybe between him and I'm not going to say this guy Martinez, but who in 2025, if it isn't Rodgers, are you developing? Because we want this continuity. We don't want a one and done. Got to win the Super Bowl because, as I just said, the reasons. But once they do that, we need this to be a sustainable organization. We need this to be something where we're not always, banging our heads against the wall.
That happens. It becomes sustainable when either you do win a Super Bowl or you consistently get to the playoffs and you're consistently in the hunt. They need a Super Bowl win. They need it to change the dynamic. That's the whole thing. It's always been these decades changing the dynamic. And a lot of young Jet fans won't know the Denver championship game since they should have won. The Miami Mud Bowl, if they would have covered the field and let the field dry out, the Jets had so much better team.
0 for 4, it's like, yeah.
0 for 4, 2 years in a row with Rex, right there. The frustration I still remember of letting Pittsburgh take the ball first. And I was like, why are you letting them take the ball first? And they scored, changed the whole dynamic. And then Sanchez fumbled. They almost came back, and it continued frustration, So, and then the young Jet fans don't know about 1-15 with Kotite, it just, and an angry head. You got to win now. And Kotite with like deer in the headlights. Walt Michaels being let go after getting into that championship game to a double nose picker, Joe Walton. I mean, we used to be in the sidelines. How long is the camera going to be on this guy? This is part of Jets history,
Some people could say you could write a book about it. You could write 5 books about the Jets,
Oh
and
my God.
and it's okay, but we stick with them. We love them. It's all that, but we need something now to be sustainable. We need something to be successful right now. And you're right. If you get that Super Bowl, by the way, think about it. How, because of last year, the way that happened, this is a better team now. This is the best team I've ever seen them have. It just is.
Probably.
You know, and if they get it done now, it's 2 years that you've been waiting for this moment with Rodgers. It's not that this is the first year. This is a long time now. It's time. By the end of this year, this guy's been in the world for 2 years. Let's go. But here's the other thing, Reddick. Man, if there's one guy that, and I heard Stephen A go on, and he was right. He's like, just pay him, do what you got. You're the Jets. It's like, and in a way, he's right, and he likes them. But here's the thing: get it done And if they come in the next couple of days or next week and sign him to a 2-year extension, imagine that. Now all of a sudden you have a guy that'll be there for a couple few years that's a superstar. If they could get that done, that's how you build the faith and trust in a sustainable, top-notch organization. You can't just not let him play and let him walk and have it fail. We gotta make this happen. Because that kid in there, man, that guy, with what they have on defense and the job they've done so far has been great. But if he's even 3/4 speed right now and he doesn't get hurt, this guy Reddick is going to wreck people, you know?
Let me ask you something. Okay, you're a Jets guy. You're Mosley. You're Quinn Williams. You're Quincy Williams. You're all these guys, Kinlaw, and you've been OTAs and practices and the mini practices and the full practices. And you've been fighting and grinding and learning the system and fighting and grinding and fighting physically. It's still a toll on your body. Obviously, it's different. And they admitted that, hey, Salah warned everybody it's going to be a hard camp, and that's what he did to them. And they're all in. They're in 100%. Everybody's like ready to go. Reddick all of a sudden walks in the door. I mean, how would you feel? Clemens, I've been fighting. I've been there every which way. And I've been, all of them. Will
You know
McDonald.
how I answer that? If you're asking me,
Yeah, man.
I answer it this way. Look, I hear you loud and clear. There are once in a while guys that come along that if they don't play this way, then they're done. It's never going to happen. He's on his third team now, right? He's proven himself with Philly. And before that, where the hell was he? I forgot. I don't even remember. He was on another team before then. He's proven himself at a high level with multiple teams, and no one is giving him what he wants in terms of that security. Boo-hoo, I know. He's still making a ton, So don't cry. But I think if you're Quinn and Williams and you're with the Jets, that's your only team and they paid you, you're good. If you're these other guys that, have moved around a little bit, but Clemens, those dudes, they're Jets. They don't know anything other than the Jets. So they'll look at a guy like that and they'll say, shit, he wasn't treated the same fair way that my team treated me. So I'm going to give him an understanding. I get it. I think that's what they'll do. And when he comes in, if he's what is advertised and he's a monster and he's there for real to play and he's not a distraction, I think that'll be a big deal. Now, let me see. I want to look.
Well, today's date, August 29th, we are 3, 10, 11 days away. Unless he has unless he opens up his shirt and he has a big S on his chest.
Yeah.
I know he's a football player. Obviously, there's a brilliant remark. I know he's a good one, but football's football, but it's still a different system, things to know. And the thing is, he signed that contract. He said he signed. He says, are you going to see me? And then he's not there.
Right. No, I get it. I understand. That's all true. So,
and I think what Douglas has said, come into the stadium, come into the house, and we'll talk.
Yeah.
He's not going to do this outside where I don't see you. Who are you? That was great, Sal. So, what do you think of Reddick? He goes, I don't know. I haven't seen him. I don't know him. You know what I mean?
So he was drafted in 2017. He played 4 years with the Cardinals, Arizona.
Cardinals, right.
1 year with the Panthers, 2 years with the Eagles, and now he's here, right? So this is his his fourth team. So he wants to know he's going to be wherever he lands for the next 2 or 3 years and call it a career, right? Because this is his seventh year. You're not going to be beyond 10, 11 years and be an effective edge rusher like a madman anymore.
Oh, this is his last.
Yeah, this is his last chance. So you got 11 sacks last year, 16 the year before, 11 with the Panthers, different team, 12 and a half with the Cardinals. And before that, 19, 18, 17, he sucked. 1 sack, 4 sacks, 2.5 sacks. So 2020, the last 2021, 2, 3, 4 years, he's played at a very high level. So he's saying, I want for the next little bit to know you want to invest in me, not just take from me for this 1 year. I understand that. I'm with you. I don't care. But I think if you're Quinn Williams, you got paid. His brother got paid. You know, these guys got paid. They came from elsewhere, right? Quincy, you know? So he knows now that.
Jacksonville, yeah.
So I'm looking at it like these guys understand the business. If this guy is that above the game, that good, and he's just looking to get his payday now, and he deserves it. I don't think anybody's gonna give a shit. I don't think Michael Clemens is gonna cry. I don't think Will McDonald is gonna worry about it that much, you know? I think he'll still get rotated in. Because even if the guy shows up, he's not gonna play a lot, you know? The whole design is rotation with them. So now you got a stud in there to go, you know, on there. And then you got Johnson, Jermaine Johnson, right? Who came into his own. So you rotate, you rotate, you rotate. They got this guy Kinlaw, he's like 320 to go next to Quinn Williams as a tackle, you know. They've beefed it up, they've done some good things. So he just comes in and contributes, does a few things, and gets overpaid, which he's going to be, you know, if you want to keep him. Because I want him more than 1 year. Like I just got through this list. All these guys are going in 2025. If you have Hassan Reddick for 2025, 26, right? Maybe you come back if you're some of these other guys. Maybe if you have him in there and they win the Super Bowl this year and he's, hey, come on back. And that's the dream, right? Is that they win it all. Ulbrich decides to stay. It's like great. He'll probably be another head coach somewhere else. But if he stays and you get these quality guys that stick around, it's a magnet. So if you don't have him in, it's another fail. And you can't do that, you know. And I don't think John Franklin Myers or the other guy that they lost. Who's the other guy, the other lineman that went?
Huff went to the Eagles.
Well, Huff. No, not Huff. I'm talking about the third guy, the tackle that they replaced with Kinlaw.
Jefferson, or what was his name?
Yeah, Quentin Jefferson, that guy. He was okay, but they replaced him. Big deal, They replaced him big time with Kinlaw. They have not replaced Huff yet, but I do think Franklin Myers is easily been replaced with what they got. These guys, that guy with the hair from 2017, not McGregor, the other dude.
Oh,
I
what's
should,
his Tack? That guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean. That guy looked great, He'll get
Well, Leonard Taylor, you're talking about. They look wild. But this, what is it, Tack McKinley? Am I way off with the name?
McKinley. That guy is amped up. And he said, my guy is Jeff Ulbrich. He believes in me. He's always there you go. There's what I'm saying about that. He's gonna be in following Jeff Ulbrich wherever he goes. That's his guy. Done. So that guy will run through a brick wall for him. He saved his career. I think he knew him from college, or whatever. I don't know. Drafted him. So that means there's the continuity. So I think that guy will be a big part of what the Jets do this year anyway. So Hassan Reddick, it's not the, oh my God, we're gonna be 7-10 because they don't have Hassan Reddick. No, I don't think that's it at all. But I think if they have him, maybe you could be 13-4. Maybe you can make that difference. Maybe you win that playoff game that is against the Mahomes, and you put him on his ass in a championship game to go to the Super Bowl. Maybe that's what you need. So that's the way we have to start thinking this year. In my eyes.
I started with the FU segment, just upset and angry. I'm going to end this with what my dream is. My true dream and fantasy, I'll admit it, it's going to sound silly, but is that the Jets win the Super Bowl, Rodgers, and he comes back next year to try it again. That would be my.
He'd be ridiculous not to try. Why not?
My dream.
Absolutely, because if he gets through it this year healthy and they win it and things are great, why wouldn't he? Why not?
Well, for you people new to Jets 55, we started out because we both started following the Jets in 67, and by 2022 it was 55. Right now it's 57, but we're keeping we just like the name Jets 55. It looks cool.
Like Joe's logo. We're not going to change that.
Tell your friends, check us out. I'll be probably more madness the next time we have we'll do one more before the game, and we'll have some fun with that. Maybe we'll be together.
We'll do it again as soon as Reddick signs. How's that? He's gonna sign. He'll be there.
And
Yeah.
I'm the one talking about guys being negative, but at least you see me, you have my name, you know who I am. So if I'm
That's right.
negative, I'm negative.
You
But I
put
have
it
my
out there.
dream.
You're
I
not
have my dream. Jets 55, baby. 2 Super Bowls in a row in the Rodgers. How about that?
love it. Beautiful. On that note,
All right, bro.
all right, pal. Sounds good.
All right, let's go,
Jets.
Jets. Jets. Let's
All
do
right.
it. All
Cool.
right, pal.
All right.